right, so Crash Team Rumble came out 2 weeks ago, and I am already worried for it. Crash Team Rumble is a multiplayer game coming from the Crash universe, and it's developed by Toys for Bob, published by Activision, and was released on all consoles besides the Switch consoles. And that right there is one of the first things that I'm going to touch on in a little bit that is a problem with the game. However, this game released June 20th, and it actually already feels like it's dying. A lot of the times when multiplayer games like this come out and they have a price point, there are going to be a lot of staggering problems that present themselves down the line. However, with Crash Team Rumble, or CTR as I'll probably call it at some point in this video, there were problems from launch day with this game. And unlike most major games that are released, it wasn't that the game came out broken, it wasn't that the servers were really bad, it was the fact that just no one was really playing the game even on its biggest day, which theoretically should be the day it launches. I still remember getting the game the day of, buying it, downloading it early, and playing it within the first few hours of it being available, and already having bots in my lobbies. If you don't know, a lot of the times what companies will do with major multiplayer games is if they can't field like 1 or 2 people on a 4-person team, instead of having queue times be like 50 minutes plus, which they already kind of are in some instances, they will have a bot in the game that will play essentially as a teammate to you. And a lot of the times this can be done kind of effectively. Like if the NPC is actually like well designed and well programmed, it can actually be a really cool thing, because then you can continue to play online games and still have a lot of fun. However, Toys for Bob made the NPCs in this game literally have no brain cells whatsoever, and they are some of the worst NPCs I've ever seen in a multiplayer game. Like, I genuinely think if you give the controller to a 4-year-old, they will be able to do more than the NPCs, and then the NPCs are just so bad. And it sucks because the player base of the game is this game's major issue. How people are receiving the game is actually pretty solid. Look at most YouTubers who have been covering CTR throughout its kind of like announcement to release. Most people have actually really enjoyed the game, myself included. I actually think this is one of the best multiplayer games that we've gotten from like a company like Toys for Bob, or like a publisher like Activision in this kind of realm, in this specific genre, in a very long time. This is one of the only multiplayer games that's released in a decent amount of time that actually makes me think about playing it when I'm stressed, just to kind of cool off. And it sucks that playing it makes me more stressed because I can't even find a game. So the reason that this game has a worrying state is because it's been out for 2 weeks and they have a couple seasons planned ahead of the game. And for that to happen, the game needs to survive at least like 3 or 4 months, and I feel like it's going to be a struggle for them to do this. Now, I have my own kind of opinions on why I think Crash Team Rumble, or CTR, is just not really doing so hot as of right now. I think for one, I just want to get it out of the way, it has nothing to do with the gameplay. I actually think that most of the characters that are in the game right now are actually really balanced. I think that the game itself is really fun. I think that the community is actually a blast to play with. So it's really nothing on the developer side as of gameplay. But what I can say is whoever was in charge of marketing this game should never be allowed to market a game again, because this game had literally no marketing, like at all. Maybe that's just me, but I was someone who was actually watching CTR videos on YouTube, and I can maybe recount 2 or 3 times max in the past like 3 or 4 months that I actually saw a trailer for this game. Not only that, a lot of big games nowadays, games that are trying to have long lifespans like CTR is trying to do, will collaborate with other multiplayer games. I hate to bring up this game as an example for literally anything, but look at Fortnite. Like, they have collabs on collabs with literally everything, and CTR did absolutely nothing. Oh, I'm sorry. They made a skin bundle for Call of Duty, another dying multiplayer franchise right now. Another franchise that Activision publishes that is in the dirt. Like, I don't know what's going on, but Activision is just not having a good time with multiplayer games right now. I actually think CTR has a good amount of content. I will say, I think spreading out the seasons in the way that they are doing it can potentially just hurt the game more. I don't really think we should be waiting this long for things, but maybe that's just my opinion because of the player like base count already. And it sucks because it's literally a 4v4 game mode. It takes 8 people to play this game at like a very solid level. And the fact that there are already bots and long queue timers for an 8-player game is not a good sign whatsoever. Another thing that I think was a big drop of the ball was not getting this game out on Switch or PC on launch day. Like, I can understand not wanting to put it on PC because that's just like a whole nother kind of monster, like monitoring a game that's released on PC in the multiplayer sphere. Like, so many people can hack the game, and I can actually kind of see it, but not having this game on arguably the best sold console of all time, or one of the best selling consoles, especially in this generation, on the Switch is just like almost, it should be a criminal thing. Like, just releasing the game on Switch alone could boost the sales by like a couple thousand. And I mean, most games, they see almost like a 1 million copy boost because of how popular the Switch is. Also, I think this game would be really fun to play on my Switch. Like, I'm someone who absolutely adores the Nintendo Switch. It's my favorite console ever. Playing this game on Switch just makes a lot of sense to me. So I think if they have a Switch port of the game, there's a chance that this game could have a second life. But I don't know, it's a pretty low chance in my opinion. Honestly, I think they would have to do something really big, which is have a Switch port, release Spyro, which we know from files in the game is coming to the game, but not for a good amount of time, like I think it's like 2 or 3 months, and making the game free to play. Because from feedback I've seen from different communities, people would be more willing to try this game if there was either like a demo, or like you could play the game for like 5 or 6 hours and then it locks you out unless you pay for the game, or if it's just free to play. I think that definitely makes a lot of sense. I think having this game not be free to play at launch is kind of hurting it and kicking them while they're already down. But I think if they put it on Switch, make it free to play, and drop Spyro all at the same time, this game could have a really good chance of getting boosted back to where I believe it belongs. Because I actually think this game is really fun. It's a really great way to kill time. And if you have extra money, please get this game. This game is so much fun. But I mean, you can also wait and see. I just don't want this game to die. It's going to be really sad if they have to take this game offline like within a year of its life.